Pull up the YouTube here.
Are,
Refresh.
are we live? Is this thing on? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Disco, and I'm joined by one of my favorite content creators. And he's way past up and coming. Like, he's here, he's established, he's him. 3 months into this thing, and this dude's already got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's got his own fantasy football podcast starting very soon. This is none other than my good friend and somebody that you should follow, not just on Twitter, but also on YouTube and wherever he's podcasting, because his information is pure gold. His word is bond, and I love this man. I love the content he puts out. This is my good friend Sleezeballff Fantasy Football, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our stream. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, man.
This is your first day on Drafters, man.
This is my first day on Drafters. I'm excited.
I'm excited to have you here on your first day on Drafters. I will say, usually in May, it takes a little bit longer for the lobbies to fill. Right now, we're queued up in the Drafters main. It's 8 out of 12. So if you're tuning in and you're watching, by all means, hop on in, queue up with us. If you guys think you can outdraft us and you guys think all the stuff we put out is stupid and mumbo jumbo, then put your money where your mouth is and come here and draft with us. But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming on to the show. And it inspires me to see somebody who just started in essentially this space succeed and do so well and get the credit he deserves. Because like you, I'm relatively new to the fantasy football space as well. I've been doing fantasy football forever, but I'm new to the content creation, new to putting videos out. So just give me a background story on what inspired you to be like, hey man, I just want to go out and put dope content on YouTube and Twitter and everywhere else on a daily basis. What's your inspiration? What's your secret sauce?
Well, first of all, I'm honored to be here, man. Thanks for having me. I've been watching now for the past 4 days. I love the content. I love all the stuff you do on Twitter as well. So I've been playing fantasy football since we used to mail in the scores. If you remember back in the day, almost, like 25, 26 years probably. And I sold my companies about a year and a half ago, I'd say almost 2 years now. Every single one of my friends forced me into this because I know I love football. I live and breathe this all the time. Let's talk about every time we're out with every friend we have, everywhere we're at. And they're like, you should just start doing this. You should start pumping out content. You should do YouTube. You should do Twitter. So now I'm trying to chase, I guess, one of my dreams that I should have started a long time ago, to be honest, because I could talk football 24/7, 7 days a week,
Easily. And I feel like, in the fantasy football world, there's content and then there's what you put out, which is just quality, informative, straight to the point. I did not think about this. I love this guy's train of thought. I love his thought process. I love where he's going with his thought process and where it's leading to, right? I feel like there's a fine balance between putting out content for the sake of putting out content, like clickbaity stuff, just because you want to get clicks.
I can't stand that. Yeah.
And then putting out the content that you put out, which is quality, informative stuff. So it's really cool to see the thought process and, how methodical you are in this. And, I know that you're an underdog guy and this is your first day on Drafters Fantasy. Unlike underdog, when you queue up here, sometimes it'll take a little bit. We're at 10 out of 12. But, when you do get into a draft, you get to experience a really, really good user interface, a good website, a good app in general. Drafters is absolutely phenomenal. But you already have done a Drafters Mini, correct?
Yep.
You've already warmed up with a Drafters Mini. So I want to ask you something in terms of theory approach. Is there much difference between, underdog and drafters? I believe underdog is 17 roster spots.
You get 2 more on here, which I noticed right away, right?
Well,
it's usually 3, 5, 7, 3. So it's usually 18. You get 2 more. Okay.
Yeah. So it's 20 here, 18 on underdog. So is there anything you figured that there's any differences, any nuances that you figured are kind of different? Anything that just comes up to you that's this wouldn't happen on UD or this wouldn't happen on Drafters after your one draft there?
Well, the ADPs are always going to be different no matter what platform you're on, right? But I kind of, after the first draft, tried to change my strategy just because those 2 extra spots. That was my first time doing it. I didn't know we had 20. So when I picked my 18th player, I was like, oh, I get 2 more. right? So I grabbed an extra tight end. Now I think I'll switch to like, so what is it, 20, the 2-6 or 2-6-8-2, or stack wide receiver and running back and just go 2 tight end, 2 quarterback. I feel like with the less roster space, I like to have the depth of the 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
So you think that it's easier and more like it's easier to reach on a quarterback here because you have so many spots for depth at other positions here? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just, well, I guess, how do I explain it? If I'm playing with an 18-man roster, I like to have the QB depth of 3. If I'm playing with a 20-man roster, I'm going to go for the 2 and try and stack everything else.
I
It's
like
kind of
that.
a difference.
I like that. I like that theory. I like that approach. It's very unique in terms of roster construction. I believe you're watching us when B. Kurt hopped on and how he talked about, just based on your roster construction alone in these tournaments, you can stand out and give yourself an advantage. And all about giving yourself an advantage because you placed relatively high in Best Ball Mania last year on underdog. So I know we got ourselves a good drafter, a good shark. Our lobby is full.
We're in. Let's
We're
rumble.
in. Your sleazeball. You're at the wow.
Pick 6.
We're back to back, sir.
Oh, I like it.
We're back to
I like
back.
it.
Let the snipe show begin. Shout out to Mossy, my guy Mossy. Shout out to you, Angry Elf's in here. You and me, we're at the 6-7. I like the 6, but I'm okay with the 7 as well. This is perfectly awesome. J Sig says, "Are the background studio their metaphor for Sith and Jedi?" That's a question for you, my friend.
Oh, what did he say? The background for me?
Oh, I think he's talking about both of ours because I'm blue.
Oh, you like, yeah, red and blue. I just noticed that. That's just all Niners.
That's very creative. Very creative. How you doing, JC? Good to see you in here, buddy. And then the Sports Addict Network says, "What's up? What's up, buddy? What's up, Fantasy Football Network?" I love this man. He's such a good man. I'm not a Star Wars guy. No, I really am. I am. I swear. I swear.
The Sports Addict's been killing his bets lately on Twitter,
man. Sports Addict just hits. Like he hits. Even like I can always rely that like if I'm bored and want to make a couple of extra bucks, I could just go to the Sports Addict Twitter page and I know for a fact that I'm going to make some extra money. And it's almost comical at this point how often he hits and how frequently he hits. Shout out to him. Shout out to the whole community, the Speakeasy community. Great people, great stuff there. You sent me a Drafters 3 pick. Ooh, I gotta look at it.
Is he a big Drafters guy as well?
He's in Connecticut, but he did get the app when he was in New York. Okay. I might just tail this. Addict, is it okay if I share this with the rest of the drafters community?
I'm down to tail it right now.
Yeah, let's tail the hell out of it. Okay, so if we're looking at the Celtics, we got Peyton Pritchard over 8.5 points. Shout out to the Sports Addict, always coming through.
Are these pick'ems?
Pick'ems, yes, sir.
All right, what is it?
Peyton Pritchard over on his points, 8.5.
How do I
and
spell
then he
it?
has
Peyton Pritchard over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he has Jason Tatum over 41.5. Uh, 41.5 points and rebounds. Sorry.
I see that. I got it. Yeah. Okay.
And then the last one's a baseball one, so I got to switch over to MLB. You're almost on the clock, so we got to do this. And he's got Adley
Oh my God, is Jamar Chase going to fall to me? Love me. Please.
I know he's not going to follow me. That's the answer. So who's next best up if Mark Chase is gone for you? Bijan?
I'm not in on Justin Jefferson like he's going to outscore Bijan or Brees.
I wouldn't say I'm completely out on Justin Jefferson, but he's not in my top 7. He's not in my top 7.
I like Bijan and Brees better in that spot.
His last one is Adley Rutschman for over 0.5 singles in baseball.
I see it.
All right. That's it.
And what are we doing? Times 6? What are we rocking here? 183?
I'm going $10.
Let's go $10. actually.
sir. Thank you,
I'll go
Sports
check.
Addict. You are a gem. You are a legend. Thank you for that, sir. If it hits, I'm gonna do 2 giveaways.
There we go.
JC says he's killing his bets. I'm still waiting for Deuce, the Sports Addict Network. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys are tuning in and you're watching with us on Twitter X, on the X space, Elon's playground, hop on over into our YouTube channel. This way you can enter our giveaway. We're going to be giving away a ticket shortly. Let's talk fantasy. Okay, let's talk fantasy. I feel like I've gotten to know you a bit. You've been awesome. You've been phenomenal. So everybody this is a weird year, right? Because ADP is so up in the air. It could be any of one of 6 guys, in my humble opinion. That could be the 101. Really, this year it could be anybody. So I'm very curious who you have at the 101 this year. Who are you betting on this year? Everybody knows I'm betting on Jamar Chase, right? Like if I get pick 101, I'm taking Jamar Chase over CMC.
Taking Jamar Chase?
101.
Okay.
101, pick number 1, Jamar Chase. So if he falls to me and pick 5, 6, 7, I'm having the best day ever.
Oh yeah.
Because for me this year, that's who I'm betting on. That's the guy I'm doubling down on. I love Jamar Chase this year.
What's he gonna do here, folks?
I'm going with the ceiling play. I like the ceiling play.
I was thinking the same thing, but man,
I like
I just go running backs.
Back-to-back RBs. Oh boy.
I don't like the start of running backs back to back, but I have to.
Best available is best available, buddy. You went Jonathan Taylor. I respect it. I really do respect it. So my 101 right away is Jamar Chase. My 102, Breece Hall. Easily.
Really?
Yeah, Jamar Chase, Breece Hall. Like CMC, I'm obviously not out on. He's him. He really is one of the best players ever. But I'm talking about who's going to have an outstanding season coming up this year. Those are my 1-2. Those are the 2 guys who I want to leave every draft with in round 1. Redraft, best ball, PPR, not PPR standard, like it doesn't matter. IDP, those are my first 2 guys. Premium tight end, those are my first 2 guys. I want them in every single draft. So who's your unit? Who is Sleezeballff saying this is my guy, my 101? Because it could be Jamar Chase, it could be CMC, like everybody gets, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra.
I'll go for a 4 shot. Right, CMC, he's got to be number 1, no matter what. I mean, this guy's put up 350 points like he's a quarterback last year.
Okay,
I mean, CeeDee Lamb, I do like Chase a lot, but CeeDee Lamb in the situation in Dallas, he's going to get fed like a machine. So I have him a little bit above Chase. I would put Chase at 3, and I have Bijan over Breece because they have the easiest schedule in the NFL. He's going to feast.
I don't doubt that he's going to feast. I think Bijan's going to be great. But I have Bijan at 5 right now.
Neighbors at 24. That's crazy.
Who's that? Neighbors at 24?
Yeah, that's a little high for me.
Yeah, I think that's too high for me. That's why I'm never going to get any exposure to Malik Neighbors ever. Don't want him whatsoever. So let's talk about your top 5. Okay, go ahead and rank them. Then I'll give you my top 5. And
so I go CMC, CeeDee Lamb, Chase, Bijan, and Amon-Ra and Breece. I'm like tied at 5. Amon-Ra's going to go off too.
I go Jamar Chase, Breece Hall, Amon-Ra, CMC, and then Bijan.
Ooh,
CD's number 6 for me. CD's number. I feel like the season you had last year, it's not going to be duplicated whatsoever. When was the last time you saw a wide receiver 1 repeat as a wide receiver 1?
A while. What is it? Was it Jefferson first 2, or he was close, wasn't he? Was he 3-1 or 2-1?
He was close, yeah, but it was like Cooper Kupp was a couple of years ago. Then it was JJ. Then it was CD. Right? Like, when's the last time you saw a wide receiver repeat as the number 1 wide receiver in PPR format?
Yeah, it's usually, but they usually stay around the top 3 or 4. So I mean, it's close.
Actually, the fall off is pretty tragic if you look at the advanced stats and analytics and that trend. But that's for a different topic. So I'm not fading him because of a superstition or a trend. I'm fading him because the volume and the amount of opportunity he had, it's not going to be the same. The O-line's gotten significantly worse, so Dak's
You
going to
don't
have.
think they're more pass heavy with the running back room they have?
I think the O-line's gotten worse, so it doesn't matter if they're run heavy or pass heavy. The shots on net that he's going to have aren't going to be as deep. Yes, he can take a slant to the house, but the shots on net he's going to have, Dak's going to be getting hit, and if Dak's getting hit, we know that the ball's going to get picked, right? So if he loses two significant offensive linemen, which and I know everybody's like off of Tyron Smith, whatever, but like at the end of the day, he's one of the best left tackles to ever do it. And then they lose Tyler Biadasz, their center, as well. So those are two very significant pieces that they lost. Yes, they addressed it in the draft, but like those guys, in my opinion, are irreplaceable.
Veterans are a lot different than rookies. Yeah.
So I played offense. I don't know if you know this. I played offensive line at a very high level, 6'8", 320 pounds. Weird flex, I know. So I was looking.
You say 6'8"?
Yeah, 6'8", 320.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy.
Okay.
Are you going to the Fantasy Football Expo, by the way?
Yes, I am.
I can't wait to meet you there, brother.
Yes, I know it's gonna be fun. I've never been to that. I've never been to the Scott Fish that we're going to in Vegas here in a month.
I'd love to do the Scott Fish, but I guess I'm not big enough to do the Scott Fish yet. Let's catch up with the chat, and then we'll get back to why I'm fading the Cowboys and your counterpoint. Arthur House says, I'm tired of front end shit. I'm ready to start hitting this contest from behind. I love it. I love it. Art, you're a beaut. Jonathan Siegel says Brees, but I'm not mad at Chase either. For sure. And last year, all my Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase stacks burnt me in this tournament. Absolutely burnt me. But I'm willing to bet on them again. I look at the situation.
Healthy, man.
A healthy Joe Burrow is scary.
He makes me nervous, man.
He's
got to earn my respect back, kind of thing with him.
Who, Joe Burrow?
Yeah, he's just been burning me too much.
I don't know. The year before he was spectacular. The year before that he was also spectacular. I think he has that hunger as a professional where he hears what people are saying, and he knows that people are counting him and his team out. And I think he's a team first, let's win first kind of guy. And you see that with his interactions with him and all of his teammates, including Jamar Chase. So I'm betting high on the Cincinnati Bengals. I want to get all the Cincinnati Bengals, even Eric All in round 20. I really am.
Oh, Iowa, you baby.
You like Eric All?
I was born in Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah. Big Hawkeyes fan. Let's
go. Yeah, I mean, last year we predicted Sam Laporta in May to be the tight end one. What wasn't because he was from Iowa, but it definitely helped. I mean, Noah Fant is that one outlier who sucks. But even Noah Fant, I think second contract, he might pull together and actually be somewhat decent this year. Let's look at your start. Talk me through it. Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Trey McBride. That's very unique here.
I was going to say, who's spending on Cooper Kupp this year?
You're back up.
I love this pick right here. If you're watching,
Chris Godwin. I like Chris Godwin at ADP currently more than Mike Evans. But talk to me. Why do you like that pick right there?
Because Chris Godwin has had his percentage of his catch rate drop 15% since leaving the slot. Was it 3 years ago? I think 2021. And now they released this year that he's been playing slot full time. I think he's going to absolutely destroy his value in fantasy football. I think he'll lead the Bucs in targets. Mike Evans will lead them in touchdowns, of course. I mean, I keep thinking he's going to fall off, but this guy's just a warrior.
Yeah, he never falls off.
Yeah,
he's every year, and every year he proves me wrong, and I'm fading him again this year.
Same thing. I'm like, do I draft this guy that he's going to go for wide receiver 7 like last year? What was he, wide receiver 6 or 7? It's crazy. I mean, he just shuts me up every time.
So I'm going to ask you something. Do you believe in the Shane Canales, the Coach Canales?
Yes.
Trend? You do?
Yes.
So we all saw what happened to Geno last year after Canales left, and we all saw what happened to Baker last year, right?
Right.
Are we expecting that trend to continue?
I think Baker's going to struggle a little more than last year. Yeah, I do.
So because I'm out, I love that we're on the same thought process right now. Because I'm out on Baker, I don't want to say I'm necessarily out on either Evans or Godwin. Mike Evans, I'll never want to get him at ADP. I'm never going to reach for Mike Evans
He's
in
too
round 3.
high, right?
It's not happening. I mean, the fact that Cooper Kupp is in round 3, you got him at pick 30. It's perfect because we know at the end of the year, before the season kicks off, Cooper Kupp's probably going to go up. Evan Ingram, let's go.
I am willing to say right now that a healthy Cooper Kupp may outscore Puka Nacua.
Easily. We know what Cooper Kupp's capable of. If Cooper, okay, the reason why Puka Nacua was so good is he filled in for that Cooper Kupp role because Cooper Kupp was not 100%. Guess what?
Well,
Cooper Kupp's 100%.
He's still, man, when they were both on the field, Puka was still producing. I'll give him that.
But at what point last year was Cooper Kupp 100%?
Yeah,
not once.
Never.
Not once, right? But now Cooper Kupp's at 100% in round 3. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I would take him all day, every day.
He's coming.
Anthony Richardson,
my favorite quarterback to draft.
Why?
He's a machine, man. He's just gonna everything is in line for him. A beautiful O-line. Jonathan Taylor healthy, no nonsense, missing 4 games last year. They got Adonai Mitchell, who's an absolute steal in the draft. Hopefully, Jelani Woods can play 1 game this year. You know, he's a 6'8" giant like you. I mean, God, he's huge.
Yeah, I drafted way too much Jelani Woods for no freaking reason last year in these tournaments.
So did I. I went on someone's YouTube show. I forget his name. It was my first one, like first or second one ever. And he's like, "Give me a bold prediction." And I was like, "Here's your great bold prediction. Jelani Woods is gonna have 10 touchdowns, 0."
Yeah, I mean, he had 0 snaps. Like,
that's terrible.
I think he had more snaps of the hamstring last year than he did on the football field.
On the field,
yeah. Sports Addict says Mitchell, all caps, and he also says for the shoe. If you don't know, he's a diehard Colts fan. I love the man. I hate his team. I can't stand your team, but I appreciate you.
You don't think Anthony Richardson has a chance to be QB1?
I never said that.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to know why you liked him. I love Anthony Richardson. I'm not worried about the injury. I think the injury obviously is a terrible thing, but it's also one of the better things that could have happened to him because he had a full year to recover from his lingering injuries from college as well. Right. So the fact that he's had time to recover and come back completely healthy, the fact that they've added all those pieces, the fact that there's no nonsense with, the contract situation with Jonathan Taylor, you have a lot of reliability. I love Coach Steichen. I love what Steichen brings to the table.
Steichen, I like a lot.
And like that's why I like Jelani Woods a lot, and that's why I still like Jelani Woods a lot, is because of Steichen and what Steichen did with that Philadelphia offense in Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert's a great player, don't get me wrong, but Jelani Woods is 10 times the athlete that Dallas Goedert is. If you look at combine numbers, like score-wise, Jelani Woods is like top 3 percentile.
Lad
McConkey.
Yes.
I don't think I'm there with you on Lad. I'll be honest. I'll be completely honest.
Oh my gosh, why not? So he played slot the whole time at Georgia. He just got the notification in camp right now that they're only using him in the slot. Do you remember Keenan Allen in the slot? Herbert's gonna feed him, man. I think he's gonna have a monster rookie year. Higher than Nabbers, not higher than Marvin Harrison.
I respect that. I also have Lad McConkey higher than Neighbors. And I'm going to get Lad if he falls in ADP, but he's not somebody who I'm expecting to put up Puka-like numbers. I don't think the volume and opportunity is going to be there for any of those receivers to be spectacular on a week-to-week basis. If I'm trying to get a player in the top 7 rounds in these best ball drafts, I want somebody who's going to kill it with volume, opportunity, and big play splash. Lad McConkey, he'll get 5-6 receptions a game, but what he'll do with those receptions, I don't know. Or 5-6 targets. What he'll do with those receptions, I don't really know. And those targets and those opportunities, I see them running the ball way more than I see them chucking them up. Yeah, I see them running the ball way more than I see them chucking it up. And if they are chucking the ball up, I love DJ Chark in like round 18, 19, 20. A lot of people hate DJ Chark this year, but they hated DJ Chark last year. And DJ Chark is a spike week freak. That's why you draft him in the back end of the drafts, because he's a spike week freak. You just need 3 or 4 spike weeks from him. And he gave it to me. He gave it to me in bunches.
You think the Chargers? See, I'm not really sold on this whole Jim Harbaugh bringing the pro style running the ball. I don't see the Chargers ahead in that many games to where they're going to be able to pound the run.
Well, there's two different ways to utilize the run, right? There's utilizing the run to control the rock and stay within the games and control the time
Right.
of possession, right? And we saw the not last year's New York Giants, but the year before, the New York Giants, the year before, where Saquon went crazy. Daniel Jones earned his money for that 1 year, but last year was like we saw them do a masterful job of having a really terrible team, but control the clock, you know,
Well, that you
with
got to
the run
see.
game. And I think that's what Harbaugh does everywhere he's been. He's done that, and then he'll take the chunk play, the play action play once you guys stack the box. Which
It's
brings me
tough
to my
for me to compare Saquon to Gus Edwards, though, in that
own.
situation of controlling the
I don't.
clock.
I
You
don't.
know,
I don't think it's a direct comparison. Even schematically, the way that they ran the ball over in New York is completely different than the power run game that's going to be here, right? That was more of a zone mesh, inside zone, outside zone, read option kind of approach there.
Oh man, these wide receivers are getting thin, huh?
I mean,
Rasheed Rice, I don't.
if anything happens to Rasheed Rice, it's going to be next season. A suspension, it's going to be next season. It's going to be the same thing as.
I like this touchdown upside, I guess, with Sutton.
That's a little early for Sutton. Okay, you got your guy. I respect it. I respect it. This is a very, very unique draft for you. I don't think I've seen this combination of players yet, and I've been in a lot of these drafts. Sports Addict says feelings are the same. Love ya, hate the Pats, my guy. He also says thoughts on Jamari Thrash on the Browns. Never thought about it. Never going to think about it again. You're up.
Same as Cedric Tillman last year. He would be buried.
Yeah. I just look at the quarterback play. I really look at the quarterback play, and I'm like, okay. I mean, if Joe Flacco was absolutely spectacular and they let him walk, and Deshaun Watson was an absolute nightmare, like I don't know.
Are you feeling the Deshaun Watson comeback?
No,
at all?
No. I've written him off simply because he's a terrible person.
that too.
Yeah, he's an awful human being. I've written him off. Ooh, week 12. That. Oh. I got Joe Burrow, Breece Hall, Kamara, T. Higgins, Evan Ingram, all on a bye week on week 12.
Yeah, I split my buys all with none. I don't know if that's it doesn't matter in best ball because you're going for a one. Well, you're playing the weekly, I guess that doesn't matter. But
yeah, I mean, like the person who won not last year but the year before, he finished the season off with no quarterback. Like he had Jalen Hurts, his other quarterback got hurt, and then the last 3 weeks, Jalen Hurts was hurt, or 2 weeks, Jalen Hurts was hurt, and some people do solo QB draft. I wouldn't do that in this tournament. I'd do it more likely in the mini than I would in this tournament because you're competing against 180,000 people here, whereas there it's 50,000. You're up. Let's see what you do with this next pick.
I don't
You're going to snipe me again. I know it.
I'm going to go for Brooks.
Okay, you didn't snipe me. Thank God.
I was going to take Curtis Samuel, but I was like, You like Pollard? I like Tajay more.
I like Pollard. I like Pollard a lot. I really do. Okay. Dude, I like this question. We'll get back to the Pollard conversation. Sports Addict says, Disco, what did you think of the Tom Brady roast? I feel like there wasn't enough talk about Julian Edelman's steroid use and not enough talk about Robert Kraft's massage scandal. The one time they did talk about the massage scandal, Tom Brady literally went up to who's the host guy,
and he said, "Stop saying that shit" or something.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh man," it was Jeffrey Ross, the roast master. So the fact that like there was things like, "Okay, do not talk about this," but like my kids and wife, fair game. Kind of weird to me, but yeah, I thought the roast was great. I thought it was really enjoyable. I think Kevin Hart was hilarious. He set it off properly. It was very, very funny. I loved the whole thing. Gronkowski looked like he was high on everything.
He was terrible.
He looked like he was. He looked like he was choked out. He looked like he was high on Molly. He looked like he drank a lot and balanced the drinking with the coke. Like he just didn't look right. Something about him looked off. Like, and I think when he spiked that shot glass, I think he injured a girl.
Did he really?
With broken glass? Yeah, in the front row, he injured a girl with that Gronk spike.
Jesus. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, but all in all, the roast was great television. It was really, really good. I love savage comedy like that. I love that. Back to Tony Pollard. Why I like Tony Pollard. All right.
Yeah, let me
Here's
hear
why I
this.
like Tony Pollard, and then you can tell me why you like Tajay Spears. I like the Callahans. I like the son, the offensive coordinator. I love him, but I love the father more because he's an offensive line guru. He's an O-line whisperer, and wherever he goes and he coaches O-line, they run the ball really well, right? Will Levi, we haven't necessarily seen too much from him, and I don't think you can just hand him the keys and be like, okay, here you go. Why the hell not?
Are you gonna snipe me?
I'm taking Eckler.
Eckler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the home run hitter.
Rashid Shaheed. Yeah, I was. It was either Shakir, Shaheed, or Eckler there for me. I even like Gus Bus, but I like Eckler. Upside's tremendous.
I just don't like this double running back start, but I should have went wide receiver.
It's all good. It's all good. I think that's a good thing about these drafts. You can always pivot. So I not only do I like this situation because one, I do like Will Levi, but I feel like Will Levi is going to be better if the run game is more pivotal and more crucial, especially behind a power run offensive line coach.
JC Latham is nice too.
JC Latham's a great addition, right? And if you look at Tony Pollard, like I don't blame him for having a bad year last year. I figured he was going to have a bad year last year because I'm in that whole like physiotherapy, sports rehabilitation field, right?
Coming off his injury,
like you're literally going from like learning how to walk again to going on the football field. That does not bode well, right? To have a healthy offseason where you're doing your speed training, your agility training, your explosive, just all that good stuff in the anatomical adaptation of having those reps actually matter. There you go, JC. I got you with the anatomical adaptation. Having that, I feel like he's going to be one of the comeback players of the year on the offensive side of the field this year. Ooh. You don't invest in a Tony Pollard and not expect him to ball out and do his thing. I still like Tajay Spears. I think Tajay Spears is a tremendous handcuff, but I'm not buying handcuffs right now.
You think it's going to be a handcuff? I think it's going to be like 60-40.
No?
Man, Tajay Spears was great in the pass game. I don't see Tony Pollard taking any pass game from Tajay. That's for sure.
I don't see them. They have three good wide receivers there. They have a semi-decent Chigo Konku, like absolutely.
Man, I was disappointed.
He was another guy who like never again on Chig.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, he was another one of those guys who burnt me tremendously. But like they have some really good wide receivers. If we're talking about the pass game and drafting players based off of the pass game and pass game alone, I don't think it matters if it's Tajay Spears on the field or Tony Pollard on the field. I still think they're option number 3 or 4 at best.
Give me my guy.
Wicks. Dontavian Wicks.
I think he's going to be the Packers' legit wide receiver 1.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get to that?
I guess I test, and I don't trust his hammy at all with Christian Watson. I'm done with that guy. I almost took Jahan Dotson, but I took him in the $2 one I did before. So
like Christian Watson, I'm not worried about being the wide receiver 1 there. Romeo Doubs, I don't even think about him. Like I see him and it's like on the draft board, and I'm like, I don't want him. For me, like
Jaden Reed.
100%. Last year, I was all in on Jaden Reed. I said he was going to be tremendous. Jaden Reed paid off huge.
And those for the end zone too.
And I think based off of, everybody's like, oh, well, like, a healthy Christian Watson's going to dip into his opportunity. Okay. A healthy Romeo Doubs is going to dip into his opportunity. Dontavian Wicks, Luke Musgrave. There's so many people that's going to dip into his opportunity. If you look at the opportunity he had last year, he didn't kill them with volume. He killed them with,
one play,
yards per reception. Yeah. The quality of opportunity, and he led the team in red zone targets. Right? Yeah. So,
I thought Romeo Doubs, I thought he did. No? Who? I thought Romeo Doubs might have led him in red zone targets.
No.
He didn't?
No, I could be mistaken. But I'm almost certain he is, but I could be mistaken. But with that being said, where he played and what he did last year was only a glimpse of what he's going to do in year 2. I think he's baby Deebo Samuel, and I really like the player comp. I think he gets utilized more in the run game and in the bubble screen game this year. We get to see a whole new facet to him that we didn't see before, and I think that just blows his status all the way up. I will say though, I'm very interested in Tucker Kraft. I would say I like Tucker Kraft at ADP more than I like Luke
Musgrave.
Musgrave. Yeah.
Yep.
So talk to me about
too.
Wicks. Well, why do you think he's number one?
So first of all, let's look back at this. I pulled it up. They were dead even in targets. Oh shit, am I picking? You're picking.
I'm up.
Okay. Oh, let's see here. Is it time for the double tight end play? You took a Donai, didn't you? Sniped.
I did.
Mm.
I'm sorry. I am high on Adonai, probably not for the same reasons you are. I'm kind of corny in the sense.
Let's
where
get the
like,
stack.
Okay, I like it.
So, 17 red zone targets for Romeo Dobbs, 17 for Jaden Reed, 7 touchdowns for Dobbs, 5 for Reed. More receptions in the red zone for Reed. But with Wicks, the eyeball test is, as I'm watching it, this guy would average literally, if he played 70% of the snaps in the 3 games that he played, he averaged like 17 points a game. The opportunity that he takes less, like, how do I explain it? The opportunity with his less snap share, he does more with than any wide receiver on the Packers.
He's more efficient with his snaps.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't looked at it that way, but I can see how you got there, and I think it's an excellent take. I really do. I think,
and they started to find him in the playoff games a lot more than everybody else. It seemed like it was the tables were turning.
This is also true. I feel like they were starting to find him more so because everybody was banged up at that point. I feel like Jaden Reed was dealing with some lingering issues, but that could also be like at the end of the day, it's all theory. I really do respect your opinion. I might start getting exposure to Dontavian Wicks.
I'm drafting a lot of him heavy.
I respect it. I really do respect it. I respect it a lot.
Like these 2 guys that went, I would never touch. Gabe Davis or Quentin Johnston. Kendre Miller, I love for Dynasty. Like I don't know if some people know they're playing best ball or not at some point. It trips me out.
So I will say Angry Elf and Mossy are both phenomenal drafters. They're really, really good, and they know their stuff. Quentin Johnson burnt me, but on paper, technically, he's the wide receiver 2. Could be the wide receiver 1. Obviously, there's Ladd McConkey, but I don't know. Maybe he takes a jump this year. He's another guy who I'm absolutely fading. Gabe Davis, I like Gabe Davis for the ceiling play, play alone, like in the chunk play.
Mr. Zero, I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it with him.
Really?
Oh, Gabe Davis is huge for me. Yeah, he's good for best ball, but I wouldn't draft him in redraft or nothing.
Redraft. There's no point. Redraft. Yeah. I don't like if you're all ceiling, no floor. I don't want you in redraft. But in basketball, if you're all ceiling, no floor after round 10, yeah, come on my team. Come on my team. Because those are guys that make a difference. How do you feel about Purcell?
Man, 1 injury away and he will explode.
Yeah.
I think he's athletic freak, man.
I think one injury or 1 trade.
Yeah. I think Ayuk's gonna get the deal done. I think so. Yeah.
Is this because you're invested in being a homer?
It's probably biased.
Yeah. That's the homer bias right there. I respect it.
Here's a great pick right here.
Rule number 1 in our 10 draft commandments. I love that pick. Rule number 1 in our 10 draft commandments: don't be a homer.
That's it. Yeah. Well, I mean,
don't be a homer.
I don't know how we afford it with Brock Purdy coming up too, but there's always loopholes to every contract they do now. So,
well, I mean, you guys just gave Nick Bosa a phenomenal contract. Fred Warner is getting paid an incredible amount of money as well. Yeah, I mean,
Trent Williams.
Yeah, Trent Williams is not going to sign a long contract, so that is not going to affect your cap.
Oh, this is his last year.
Yeah, sure. he's been in the league forever, right? And he's been the best or one of the best since he's been in the league. So, yeah. But if the Eagles can do it, they could totally do it. So what about Purcell? Do you like?
His athletic specimen is freak. He's a freak. I was watching his just rookie camp, everything. He is explosive, and I did not really see that when I was looking at his tape in Florida. Like I kind of overlooked him, and all of a sudden he popped in the first round, and all the Twitter hype and everybody starts blowing him up. I'm like, I got to start paying attention to this guy, and then he goes in the first round.
Yeah,
and I was like, Jesus. And the Shanahan, their system, that we know what's going on, man. They don't make a lot of bad draft picks when it comes to offensive side of the ball.
I completely agree. I'm very high on him as well for what it's worth. I also agree with the sentiment that he's an athletic specimen. Who's your greatest player comp?
Player comp for Ricky Purcell. I would go. Oh, that's a good one. Let me think about that. Let me think. I can't go Florida with like Percy Harvin. He's too short.
You're up on the clock, by the way.
Okay, what do we need? 2, 5, 4. Is it too early?
For what?
It's never too early.
Oh no, it's a good pick.
Player comp to him. Let me go with the. I want to say Justin Jefferson, but that's too much. I mean, he makes acrobatic catches like Justin Jefferson, but they're not the same height, kind of. That's a tough one. Who would you say? I've never been asked that. That's a good one. Jerry Jeudy? Okay.
Yeah. I like obviously not the Jerry Jeudy we've seen in the NFL the last 2 years, but the Jerry Jeudy rookie season, the athletic, specimen, being able to win those jump balls, even though he's not like the most,
You still holding a sliver of hope for Jerry Jeudy this year?
I'll get exposure when I can. Okay. Like if he falls a couple picks past ADP, yeah, I'll get Jerry Jeudy. The only reason why I like Jerry Jeudy is because Elijah Moore is completely useless. Let's be completely honest. And Amari Cooper, yes, he had a couple of really good weeks, especially one in the playoffs. But
a 50-point game or something, if I remember, in fantasy, he went
nuts.
Yeah.
What did he do for the rest of the fantasy football playoffs?
Yeah, average.
He sat right, and because he has these lingering injuries that keep coming up, I think Jerry Jeudy's primed for a lot of opportunity. It's what he does with the opportunity. Because last year Jerry Jeudy saw a significant amount of opportunity. Him and Russ just weren't on the same page.
Yeah.
They weren't on the same page. And like, I don't trust Deshaun Watson. I really don't trust Deshaun Watson. But if you have a Jerry Jeudy there, it really, like, we might see a DeAndre Hopkins, like poor man's DeAndre Hopkins situation there. I think Jerry Jeudy's in a good place. We got Hussein
that's
here.
Heavy. Okay.
Yeah. Hussein says, "Hey, Big Draft, can you tell Sleezeball, I'm assuming he's a 49ers fan. If so, this is our effing year. We are ready."
Yes.
Yes.
Bang, bang, Niner gang. This is our last shot, bro. This is it. I'm on the clock.
This is like Michael Jackson's last tour. You know how it ended? You know how his last tour ended?
Michael Jackson?
He died before it even started.
That's what you're calling right now? Oh man, this is our last year. This is the last run back.
This is why I love Brock Purdy. I love how efficient he is. I love how like he went from nobody to somebody like overnight. I love everything about him. The underdog story, love him. I just don't think he's the guy right now that he needs to be.
Saying out with Purdy when you lose by 3 points to a terrible missed holding call, we can argue forever on that.
I think in the future it can be Purdy. I think in the future it can be Purdy. I think that in today's NFL, defense alone is not going to win championships.
It's not anymore.
No, not in today's NFL. But like, I love Brock Purdy. I think in the future he's going to win many Super Bowls. I just don't think he's there yet. But who knows? Maybe he'll take a significant jump.
So wait. This guy's coming off a UCL major surgery, comes out, takes him to the Super Bowl, goes QB6, and he's getting hated on?
I'm not hating on him. I just, like, I gave you the ultimate shit sandwich. I went compliment.
Yeah. No.
Compliment. That was the ultimate shit sandwich. I don't hate him. I really am not hating on him. If we're talking about fantasy football, I think he's great. If we're talking about getting 12 plus wins in that division, I think he's great. If we're talking about winning a Super Bowl, he doesn't have it yet. And keyword is yet. Is yet. Tom Brady didn't have it yet in his first 3 Super Bowl wins. He didn't have it yet, but the defense did. Right?
Okay.
And that's the major difference. The eras are completely different. But if we're talking about like caliber of player, I think he's a phenomenal player. I love his story, and I think he has a lot to learn, and he has a lot of bumps and bruises to take. But like at the end of the day, he's going to compete and he's going to win some Super Bowls. Just not this year. Just not this year.
The team that I loved that you talked about yesterday when you were doing your drafts was the Philadelphia Eagles. I loved when you said they were humbled. I think they come out banging this year.
100%. I can't get enough exposure. So now that Devontae Parker is retired, how do you feel about that? What's that kid's name? Smith, the third wide receiver, the rookie that they drafted or picked up. How do
I
you feel
thought
about him?
they just brought in someone today too, didn't they? So I don't know if they know who their third wide receiver is. The Justin Ross out of retirement, or Quez Watkins, or I got to look it up. Who?
Well, I mean, Quez Watkins was like a great dart throw last year, but it didn't pay off, right? I feel like if we're talking dart throw, you should, like, personally, you should have learned from past experiences. You know, in basketball, it's either going to be Goddard.
Is Johnny Wilson who you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, so their third wide receiver right now is Paris Campbell, then Anais Smith, then Johnny Wilson. But I mean,
Yes, Anais Smith was who I was talking about. Anais Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just heard the name for the first time last night on the Patrick Pucci Fantasy Football Show, and I found
I'm not gonna lie, I did not know who this guy is.
Yeah, like, I'll be completely honest. Historically speaking, if you're looking at that program and you're looking at that team with this core group, it's AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. Right? Everybody else is like, that's it. That's it. That's who you want. You don't want the backup running back because you're not really going to get too much play, and we know that they're going to get sniped for a touchdown in the red zone from the tush push, right?
Right.
No diddy. But it's
Pop Douglas in round 17.
I love Demario Douglas. I was high on Demario Douglas. You look like you're building for a nice little stack with Drake May later on.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Dude, I tried to do the same thing last draft and they took it from me. So but he's gonna stack up with the same buy as Richardson. What's your running back take in best ball? Do you like 5, 6, 4, 7?
Depends.
Depends on the draft.
It depends on the draft. Like the fact that I have Breece Hall here, I'm gonna go 6 simply because Nick Chubb, I don't know if he's there or not. And I love to double stack my first round running backs, and Braylon Allen's one of my favorite draft picks. He was my favorite running back prospect coming in. I thought he was the most unique running back. I don't love the situation, but as a handcuff, if he should play, I will be safe with Braylon Allen. I just put my hopes and dreams out there. I'm probably going to get sniped. It is what it is. But yeah, I think Braylon Allen's the number one handcuff in fantasy football. Then Isaac Guerrero.
You think Braylon Allen's the number one handcuff?
100%.
Over Blake Corum?
Yeah, over Blake Corum. Because I don't think Blake Corum's a handcuff.
Well, I mean, if Kyren goes down, McVay is known to use one running back. I would say that Corum would be a 17-point game guy.
I mean, David Montgomery was always the feature running back, right? Like what it comes down to is all these teams are adjusting to RB1A or RB1B. And I feel like Corum and Kyren is a 1A, 1B room. I feel like they're both going to get touches. So I don't put him in the category as a handcuff. I think he's a 1B.
You don't think Izzy Abakanda is getting any work if Hall goes down?
Maybe in the return game.
Okay.
Maybe in the return game.
I could see maybe a little split there. He doesn't look that bad when he's on the field.
Man, I'm telling you. Have you done much study on Braylon Allen tape?
Yeah, I did a little bit. He's the only problem he has is fumbling.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that is a problem. Don't get me wrong, that is a problem. But AP had a problem.
Coach is nuts.
AP had a problem fumbling in university too.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's also 20, so I mean, he might have been 21 now.
Like, who do you think my player comp is for Braylon Allen?
Oh man, like Ron Dane?
No. LeGarrette Blount.
That's okay. Same thing. LeGarrette Blount. I like that. Yeah.
LeGarrette Blount. Not quite Brandon Jacobs. LeGarrette Blount could kill you with speed as well. He's not up there with the Derrick Henrys. I will never compare anybody to Derrick Henry. He's one of one. We're never going to see any. We've never seen anybody like him before.
Oh wait, no.
No, I'm up. That was my ding.
Whew.
We've never seen anybody like him before, and we'll never see anybody like him again.
I think Derrick Henry has a chance to lead the NFL in touchdowns and rushing yards this year at age 30.
100%. 100%.
Crazy.
I don't disagree.
There it is. I got it.
Mossy said, I had so much Izzy pre-draft. I thought he looked good and was shocked the Jets took 2 RBs.
Yeah, I did. Izzy, I agree. He looked good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I liked Izzy a lot last season. This year, I want nothing to do with Izzy. Like Braylon, I love Braylon Allen, man. I really do love Braylon Allen.
Okay. What about a Tyler Algier handcuff compared to Braylon Allen if Bijan went down?
If Bijan went down, Tyler Algier is my
I'd say he's better than Braylon.
Third favorite.
Okay.
Third favorite.
I was trying to think up the top of my head.
Okay, if anything happens to CMC,
that's going to be a split. That'd be Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell, Garendo. You don't know. Shanahan will run him around.
I think Elijah Mitchell, in my humble opinion, and I could be completely wrong, and I respect your opinion, I think Elijah Mitchell's dead, and I think Jordan Mason's a cut candidate.
I want Jordan Mason to be the guy for years now. I thought the Cowboys should trade for him.
I think he's a cut candidate. If you're looking at fastest running back and biggest running back in this draft, Garendo fits the mold. I think
Garendo's big. Yeah.
Yeah, I might even say we might see him in that new kickoff return game.
Yep.
And he can be efficient and score there, right? And I think a lot of people are considering, okay, is this guy a handcuff or is he going to be involved in the kickoff return game or both, right? And I think Garendo gives you that really unique mixture of both. I do really, really like him.
Well, I mean, the Packers were just using Marshawn Lloyd in kick return yesterday. So, I mean, everyone's...
That's another great play. That's another great play. If I'm talking if God forbid anything happens to CMC, I think Garendo's in a great position. Anything happens to Breece Hall based off of that volume alone, I think Braylon Allen's in a really, really good situation. I don't count RB rooms 1A, 1B as that. I think Tyler Algier is a close third. I think he's a very close third. And then other than that, it's everybody else is a RB 1A, 1B room. That's why double stacks are so beneficial.
I gotta think about that one.
No, it's fine, man. It's all theory. I'm willing to be wrong here. I'm totally willing to be wrong.
What do you feel about Labe?
I think he's going to be very effective in the return game. I think Zamir White, no matter what, just based off of Coach Pierce, based off of who they brought in at quarterback, they're going to run the ball. You fucking.
You talked me into it, bro. That's all you. That's all you. Oh, that was perfect timing during the speech and everything.
This is why I like you. This is why I like you.
Paused him.
Wow. If you guys don't know, I guess we got to do a giveaway now. Yeah, let's do a giveaway because I cursed. You made me curse. You made me give away. So I was talking up Braylon Allen. I was really talking about Braylon Allen. Usually he goes undrafted, so I was waiting for round 20 to grab Braylon Allen. And Sleezeballff, who's drafting at the 106, I'm at the 107, just sniped him from me. So thank you for coming on the show. You're never welcome back again. All right, let's put hashtag handcuff. If you want to enter the giveaway, we'll put hashtag handcuff. Actually, let's put hashtag Sleezeballff because I had a lot of fun with you today, buddy. This is a great conversation, fun drafting with you. Hashtag Sleezeballff like this.
How about this? Giveaway. I got it. If James Conner goes down, Trey Benson is a monster.
I think Trey Benson's a 1B.
Number one?
I think he's a 1B.
Okay.
I think he's a 1B. And we know for a fact his value is really, really up there because Connor's going to go down.
Oh, yeah. I believe he'll miss 2-3 games.
At what capacity, I don't know. I hope he stays healthy. I hope he does. But, if we're looking at history repeating itself, which quite often it does, especially when it comes to the whole injury field. Yeah.
I got one more. What about Kendre Miller?
I think he's a great handcuff as well. I really do. But I'd rather don't get me wrong. I like Kendre Miller, but if we're talking about just off of ADP, right now Jamal Williams is going undrafted.
Right. I don't. He's.
I know. But they're both 2As instead of 1Bs, right?
Right.
It's tough. Whereas AJ Dillon, he's another 2A or maybe even a 2B, but I don't have any exposure to AJ
Dillon.
I know I have zero exposure to AJ Dillon. This is my first pick for AJ Dillon, but I like the idea. If anything happens to Josh Jacobs, they're going to need somebody in the red zone. They're going to need somebody to spell Marshawn Lloyd.
He didn't play bad last year. He got a lot of volume and he didn't do a lot with it, but he was average. I mean,
yeah. I feel like the team did better when he got hurt.
when Aaron
Saturday.
Jones went down.
No, when AJ Dillon went down.
Oh, and Dillon went down. I was talking when Dillon filled in for Jones. Like he was all
Yeah, no,
right.
when he filled in with Jones, he was useless. Especially in DFS. Oh man, he burnt me in DFS. Do you mind looking at some of our Disco Balls drafts and grading them, and then we'll look at yours and mine?
Who do you want? Who are we going for?
Let's look at Mossy right now. I got him pulled up. He went 3-6-8-3 with his build here. He goes
like
Jaden Daniels, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields at the quarterback position.
Justin Fields is the biggest gamble. If that hits, it is a monster play.
100%.
I mean, I think Russell Wilson should not win this job either way.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Justin Fields play at least 51% of the season. At least 51% of the season.
I saw a interesting tweet yesterday that when he was in Chicago, they changed his footwork to where he was throwing with his right foot in front as a right-handed quarterback. That's what they wanted his mechanic to do. Now that he's in Pittsburgh, they fixed it back to his left, and he looks electric.
Hopefully, they don't do that to Caleb Williams.
Dude, Chicago quarterbacks have never really been good, man. He's got everything he needs.
I know. I really do like that Justin Fields pick. I love it, especially where you got him. You got him at pick 239. Incredible. Running back, you got one of my favorite running backs this year, Isaiah Pacheco, Najee Harris. I like him too. Brian Robinson, I want nothing to do with. Gus Edwards, love Gus Edwards. Kendra Miller, great pick. Evan Hall, don't want anything to do with him.
Will Evan Hall be the handcuff for Taylor, or will be Sermon?
I think Sermon would beat out Hall. Well, like if I'm talking based off of what I saw from Hall last year, I hate Hall. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with him. I don't want anything to do with Eric Gray either. I got way too much of them last year. I'm very petty. CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin. I like what you did there with
Terry's going off. I like the Jaden Daniels stack with that.
Yeah,
I like his top 6 wide receivers.
Jermaine Burton, who is my favorite rookie wide receiver this year. Love Jermaine Burton and the situation, with or without T. Higgins. Love it. Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, tight end George Kittle, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's like the ultimate flex play. He really is. He's the ultimate spike week flex play, and based off of where he's getting drafted this year, I will get exposure to him just because we know what he's going to give you, and his 82
0 or 20.
Yeah, exactly. And then John as well. I think it's a very balanced, very strong draft. I give that a minus.
Yeah,
what do you give it?
I'd give it I'd say a B plus. I don't like, not as high as you on Gus. I don't like Brian Robinson that much, and Kendra Miller's a great handcuff. But man, you're sitting on Jaden Daniels, and he's really a toothpick, man. So I mean, and then you have Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is banking on Fields. If Fields hits, it's a monster play.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think Daniel Jones might have a better season that we're all expecting this year. I really do think.
You think so?
I think we might see more. If you look at his receiving core, they low-key have the fastest receiving core in the NFL.
Jalen Hyatt. Yeah.
Malik Neighbors.
Are they faster than Xavier Worthy and Marquise Brown? That's got to be close.
One of the fastest.
Right.
So that kind of speed is phenomenal. And then I love Theo Johnson as well. And I think they're going to have to depend more on Daniel Jones than they're going to have to depend on Devin Singletary.
You don't think Darren Waller's going to give him one more year?
No, I think he's retired. That's why Theo Johnson's the best 20th round pick right now.
Yeah, he is.
Because
I like him.
After Darren Waller officially retires, you're not going to get him past around 13, 14.
Even with the divorce? He's losing half his shit? He's not going to play another year? Maybe. He might. I don't know.
No. Screw that. Okay, so let's look at Angry Elf. I love Angry Elf. He goes with a 3-7-8-2. It's very unique, especially to stand out against 180-something thousand other competitors. He goes Brock Purdy, Mr. Productive himself, Jared Goffel, and Geno Smith.
Jared Goff's value that's too good.
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, still don't want him. Running back, Travis Etienne, Joe Mixon, Blake Corum, Jerome Ford, Tyrone Tracy. I like Tyrone Tracy. Dameon Pierce, Miles Sanders. I think Dameon Pierce and Miles Sanders both have value, not necessarily like they're going to be great, but based off of where they're being picked, like the fact that they're free, I'm going to get exposed to them. I like that they're free. What's your opinion on his running backs and quarterbacks so far?
With D'Amico Ryan saying that it's going to be a 1-2 punch between them, I don't know if I buy that. Well, you believe that's really going to be real?
I
Like
mean,
he's like a
everybody's talking
couple
about
days ago,
Jamar Jordan. Like,
the undrafted rookie or UDFA.
I'm not too concerned. I
No,
feel like with Joe Mixon, you know what you're going to get. I love the double stack concept, especially with Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce, because
right, that's nice.
yeah, with Joe Mixon, you know what you're going to get. I don't think either of them are going to kill it with volume. I think it's who's going to be more explosive and who has more to prove. And I think Dameon Pierce has a lot to prove. So I'm banking on Dameon Pierce at pick 196. I love it. And Miles
Okay.
Sanders, I feel like people are
Trade
forgetting.
candidate.
Well, I mean, Brooks is like, even if he does get traded, that's great for him, great upside. But Brooks is coming off of a knee injury. Chuba is reliable, but he's not great. Miles Sanders is capable of being absolutely great, and I still think he's in the pecking order. And best case scenario, he gets traded. He gets traded to a Dallas. Best case scenario.
That's what I was thinking would happen too.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like Miles Sanders is going undrafted. So I'm going to get as much exposure to Miles Sanders as well. So I think Dameon Pierce, Miles Sanders. I like Tyrone Tracy as a handcuff too. I really do. I think you did an excellent job. Blake Corum. There was a little bit of a scare with Kyron Williams today. Did you see that?
Yesterday with his ankle?
Yeah.
The Kyron Williams, I don't know. This is my take on this. Everybody thinks they drafted Blake Corum in the 3rd round. He's going to take the job. Dude, Kyron Williams put up CMC numbers last year when he was on the field.
I agree.
I know that he's hurt, but he is a top 5 fantasy asset doing it at the NFL level. Blake Corum's production came when they were up by 20 points. His yards per carry in close games were bad.
Don't let Greg hear you say that. Speaking of Greg, he'll be on our show tomorrow night. Shout out to Greg Kellogg, one of the founding fathers of fantasy football. Sorry, carry on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, that's fine. I love Kellogg's content too, by the way.
Yeah,
but yeah. Like if you go look at the EPA and expected everything for Blake Corum in college, when they were in close games, his numbers were very bad. And when they were in blowout games, that's when he would smash. And that's why his carries and yardage and touchdowns look immaculate, because Michigan was so stacked. They didn't have to pass the ball at all. And that's why JJ McCarthy takes, shit for, he's a bad quarterback. Dude, he never even got a chance to see him really.
Yeah.
It's a ground and pound game.
I agree with you. I think there's way too much panic with Kyron Williams, and I don't think there's enough reason to panic. Only thing I'm worried about is like, how bad is that injury?
I want the panic to keep coming and just drop Kyron down the board more for me, so I can just get him at a cheaper value.
Yeah, that would be great. Because like I will say, Sean McVay, he has me kind of on edge always, because like last year he's like, yeah, Cooper Kupp looks healthy, he should be good to go week 1 pup. And I had a lot of Cooper Kupp in round 1, right? And they went on the pup. So he's saying, he's clear. So do I pivot off of that and start drafting as much Blake Corum as possible, or do I wait for Kyron to drop so I can get more Kyron?
That's a good question, because Kupp burned a lot of people in a redraft last year at the beginning, and all year too. So I mean,
yeah, exactly. Wide receiver goes Amon-Ra, Debo, Stephon Diggs. Love that start.
Amon-Ra, Debo's great start.
Yeah. Jackson, Smith, and Jigba, love that play. Quentin Johnson, it could happen. Ricky Pearsall, if it does happen, you have yourself a steal there. Elijah Moore, I'm out on Elijah Moore. Khalif Raymond, I could see him getting there. Yeah, I mean Khalif Raymond, he will spike. And then David Njoku, Ben Sinnott. I love Ben Sinnott this year. I love Ben Sinnott before I figured out where he was drafting. He's one of my favorite tight ends in my top 5 tight ends list.
David Njoku is going to take a massive dip this year.
Yeah.
Massive. Joe Flacco loved him, unlocked him. It was crazy.
And then Deshaun Watson's back. So it's kind of like, we don't know.
Well, I saw a tweet. He averaged like 4 targets when Deshaun Watson was his quarterback. When Flacco was his quarterback, it was like 12.
That's insane. And that offensive coordinator is now gone. To welcome to New England. That's another good reason to really like Hunter Henry. It's another good reason to really like Hunter Henry.
Yeah. I love Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I've seen you do better. I definitely haven't seen you like I think this is a really good draft. I think it's a solid B. There's definitely
the quarterback scares me. Like 3 quarterbacks. That could be rough.
There's definitely a few players there I wouldn't draft ever. So do you want to do yours next, or do you want to do mine next and finish off with yours?
We can go whatever. We can do mine.
So far, only 2 people have entered the giveaway. By the way, if you guys want a free ticket to enter this draft, put hashtag Sleezeball like this. If you're on Twitter, come on in here. Hashtag Sleezeball. Art Howell has entered, and so has Mossy. There you go. We got some more chats here. Mossy says RB dries up so fast at the end now. I'm just taking dart throws at this point. Fair enough. I respect it. Mossy says,
Yeah, I like what he says about Jameis Winston. If Jameis Winston plays, it takes the job, or something happens to Watson, whatever, with this terrible contract they gave him. I think Winston will unlock everyone.
especially Jerry Jeudy.
Yes, I think Amari Cooper, everybody.
So Sleezeball has entered the giveaway. I love it. I love it. And now watch you win the giveaway because there's 3 people and you have a 33% chance. People are gonna be like, it's fixed, it's fixed. No, I'll show you a screenshot. All right, we'll look at my team and then we'll finish off with yours since you're the guest of honor. Okay. So I go 2-6-9. I go 2-6-9 3 build. Joe Burrow, Bryce Young. I really am high on Bryce Young this year. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on him, and like the same way, when Canales leaves a program, that quarterback shit. When he comes to a program, that quarterback is great. So if you're in Dynasty and people are out on Bryce Young right now,
go buy him now.
Go buy low. Buy low. Always buy low, never buy high. Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, should he play? Pick 151 is pretty spectacular. And then AJ Dillon. I hate the pick. I hate the AJ Dillon pick. I really do.
What's the update on Chubb? Is it like week 8 or is it beginning of the season? Or I haven't seen anything yet. Just that he hit the ground running or something. He was running on ground is what the last update was or something.
Yeah, I mean, I like in a perfect world, he should sit the whole season.
Right. His knee's been ripped 3 times.
But the world is not perfect, and he's going to play at some point. So as my 5th RB, yeah, pick 151, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's
wide receiver. We go with the wide receiver 2 room. Honestly, this is the wide receiver 2 room. We got Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Jacoby Myers, all wide receiver 2s. Adonai Mitchell, also potentially a wide receiver 2. Adam Thielen, also potentially a wide receiver 2, but I still think he's a wide receiver 1, and he's being very undervalued. Malachi Corley, I think he's a wide receiver 2 in that room.
Well, Mike Williams will last 3 minutes, so he
exactly. So I think he's very raw, but also very athletic. I like the upside Malachi Corley has. Malik Washington, should he become a wide receiver 2, his ceiling is spectacular. God forbid anything happens to Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. I like my wide receivers. This is very different than what I typically draft, but I got a lot of wide receiver 2s there.
Devonta Smith is going to have a monster year.
Who?
Devonta Smith. I'm fully in on him this year, finally.
Okay. Why?
Tell him more.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot.
The more motion that Devonta Smith has had since college, the more he's productive. Last year, he had 0 motion with the Eagles offense.
Very stagnant.
Use him like an X factor. He's going to be all over the place.
I agree.
I like it a lot.
I like that. I love that assessment. Tight end, I go Evan Ingram, Isaiah Likely, Jatavian Sanders. I like this draft. I really like this draft. I don't think I've had a bad draft in the 2.5 million yet. Maybe one.
I feel like Jatavian Sanders is undervalued. Like, is he going to take the job from Trimble? He is, right?
100%.
And why is he going at 223?
Because people don't know yet. People don't know yet. He's my tight end 2 on my best rookie tight ends this year.
Over Sanat?
Yeah.
Sanat's pretty good. I like Sanat, though.
I had Bowers. Then I had Sanders. Then I had Sanat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you could go either way with those 2. So I mean,
and then I had Eric All, and then I had Theo Johnson.
Eric All is if he stopped getting hurt.
I'm getting an international call. I believe that might be. I feel bad. Greg's gonna hear my my answering machine. My answering machine is hello. Can you hear me? Wait, can you hear me now? Just kidding. Man, I'm 34 years old and I act like a child. I love it. So I like my draft. I like my draft a lot. I think I did good. I think I did real good.
I think you got a lot of home run hitters, which is nice.
I'm going for the ceiling play here. If I would much rather.
Evan Ingram is a way undervalued tight end this year. He's going to have a monster.
You mentioned you're high on Evan Ingram, very high on him, but you're also higher on Ferguson than you are on.
Yes.
And I still haven't gotten any Ferguson, and I need to start doing it. Mossy says,
"I'm a red zone monster, man."
Yeah. Mossy says, I'm scared to draft Chubb on drafters till we get more clarity, but 151 is good value. That's the way I'm looking at it too. Because, like, should we get clarity and they're like, yeah, Nick Chubb is back, good luck getting him past round 4. Seriously, good luck getting him past 4. Sleazeball puts hashtag facts. Let's look at your draft, buddy. Let's look at your first drafters $2.5 million turn entry.
I don't like the running back start, but I had to take it.
Okay. Anthony Richardson, I love it. Justin Herbert, also love it. I think you would have been fine with 2 quarterbacks, but since both of them are fairly injury prone,
injury from last year, yeah, that's why
I like the Drake May pick, especially because there's so much late round correlation and stacks you could get with Drake May later on. Do you think Drake May is going to start right off the rip?
100%.
I think he should. I think it shouldn't be a debate.
And I think he's being I think people forget that this guy can run. Like he rushed for like 17 or 19 touchdowns in North Carolina. Like what? It's crazy. He has high rushing upside.
Who was your Drake May comp?
Oh, as a white guy? Oh man. Drake May comp. Oh, I guess Alex Smith kind of coming out. He could run a little bit. He was, Utah.
All right. So in my humble opinion, and I'm not saying this as a Pats fan because like I wanted Jaden Daniels way more. Like I really wanted Daniels way more.
Oh yeah, I would have too.
Drake May, like if Justin Herbert and Josh Allen had a baby, I think it's Drake May. Just talent wise, ability wise, capability wise, what he does with that talent and ability, I'm very curious to see. But I think we got ourselves a good one. I think we got ourselves a good quarterback. I like him.
I believe so.
I like him. I like him more for dynasty than best ball.
And I like quarterbacks that are 6'4" and taller.
Yeah.
That's always a thing that I like. I like they can see over the freaking lineman.
Fair enough. I mean, Anthony Richardson is Derrick Henry who could throw. I mean, Derrick Henry can throw. Shout out to Justin Herzig. That's what he told me last year. He was so high on Anthony Richardson last year. Running back, you go Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor. So this is how I know you're an underdog guy because you're very comfortable with the 5 RB build. And shout out to Ashton One. Ashton One's the one who introduced me to this.
I've been stuck to it for 2 years. Is it not the play?
5, 6 sometimes. Yeah, like 6 is perfectly fine, especially since you can, if you have Anthony Richardson and Justin Herbert, you can punt a Drake May. You don't need that third quarterback, right? You got 2 really, really good quarterbacks, but I also understand with the injury profile and the correlation you had, it makes sense. Braylon Allen, great pick. Great Braylon. I like Braylon Allen. Cooper Kupp wanted so bad. I'm
Jaleel McLaughlin is going to be the Denver RB1.
I like McLaughlin. I like McLaughlin a lot this year because I didn't like him a lot last year. I liked Samaje Perine a lot last year, and I got burnt. I got really, really burnt. So McLaughlin, I like him. I also like Javonte.
How much exposure do you have of Javonte Williams? I have 0.
I think I sent you a screenshot of my exposure to Javonte, but let me check that right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let me see.
Player exposures.
I see Cup White.
Just this contest. Yeah, we'll just do this contest. Javonte. Oh, Apollo's saying that I have 20% in this contest, so 3 shares.
3 shares. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any in 54 drafts on Underdog.
I probably have way more in the drafters meeting, I'll be honest. So Cooper Kupp, love the pick. Chris Godwin. I like Chris Godwin more than I like Mike Evans based off of ADP. And like you mentioned, back to the slot. Ladd McConkey, I think you're a lot higher than I am on him. I like Ladd McConkey, but I like the value that's around there.
Palmer more better.
I feel like there's some better talent out there, but I understand why you got there with McConkey. His upside's tremendous, especially if he is the true wide receiver 1 there. And he should be, but we'll see at what capacity. And the fact that you got the stack with Justin Herbert's also pretty sick. Courtland Sutton, I feel like he was one of the top scoring wide receivers last year, and he's still being undervalued, right? You got him. You did reach 10 picks to get him. But I mean, like, you got to get him, right? If he's available, you got to get him because the touchdown upside alone is tremendous.
What did he have? 12 last year?
Something 10, like that. Yeah. Oh, Updog Fantasy. Shout out, brother. How you doing? Nice squads, gentlemen. Updog finished second in this big tournament last year. So Updog's an absolute legend. Looking forward to having him on the show and drafting with him. Are your charts done, buddy? Are you ready to draft yet?
What's up, Dog?
What's up, dog? Um, I, I I love the Rashid Shaheed pick. Dontavian Wicks. The fact that you think Dontavian Wicks could be the wide receiver one, like I really do want to pick your brain a little bit more on like how you got there. But I might start getting some more exposure to him. Javon Baker. I like the pick. Love the pick.
So Wicks, as his snap share in the NFL last year, averaged about 40%. He was the only wide receiver to get 6 games over 10 plus points with like 30% snaps.
He was very efficient.
When he gets on the field, they started to notice it. The season came on later, you saw more. His snap share went up, increased more, and then he had a 30-point game going into the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean, he just got better and better and better and better. The connection with Love got better, and I'm really high on Wicks this year.
I respect it, but you did take the bait, man. Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, I mean, just a home run hitter, maybe.
Yeah,
I never draft him really.
Yeah, Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas. I was so high on him last year, and rightfully so. He's such a talented, great player, but the situation just sucked. It's like for all New England.
I feel like 198 is way too low for him.
100%. I agree.
He should be in the 160 range. At least above Javon Baker.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I'll take Baker higher, anyways. But
Trey McBride, Hunter Henry, Greg Dulcich to wrap up your tight ends. I feel like you could have punted Dulcich here as well. He's another one of those guys where it's like I kind of don't like him.
I'm hoping for the bounce back, and the opportunity and the volume will be there. I mean, he looked good as a rookie.
Okay, historically, let's look at Sean Payton run offenses.
Jimmy Graham.
Okay, is Greg Dulcich like any?
No. I'm just saying, throw it out. That's all I can think of up top. One.
Yeah, but like other than him, right? People who've played the position who have very similar. And good for you coming off the top of the head with Jimmy Graham there. A lot of people forgot that Jimmy Graham was an absolute monster.
Dude, he was like drafted in the top 10 of fantasy for like 5 years straight.
100%.
Crazy.
100%. So good for you for coming with that. But like other than that, like.
Well, they had Jimmy Graham for like 8 years, 9 years. So that locks out a lot of opportunity. But
yeah,
nothing sense.
I really like Cortland Sutton there. I like Javonte a little bit. I don't like Bo Nix. But if I do get Bo Nix, it's probably because I have Troy Franklin. Marvin Mims, he does a lot.
God, I was high on him last year. I hope he gets a chance.
Well, I mean, I think his upside this year is probably going to be in the return game.
I mean, who's it going to be then? Franklin? Do you think Josh Reynolds he'll probably take the 2 spot, huh? With the veteran presence?
My thing is like I don't know who it's going to be, but there's so many people where it could potentially be that it kind of becomes like very cloudy, very murky for that wide receiver 2 spot because like Tim Patrick's even coming back.
God, that guy gets hurt every time he steps on the field.
Right? I'm going to get exposure to him in the $2 mini.
Just for a home run?
Yeah, round 20. People forget that he's alive. I will get exposure to him in the $2
I just think it's undervalued because it's like the Chargers situation. I don't think the Broncos are going to be winning much games running the ball, which is why I'm staying away from Javonte Williams too, because the Broncos will be 4-8 heading into the season, and then they're going to start looking for opportunities, looking for players.
That's a great assessment. Honestly, it really is a bang-on assessment. It's making me reconsider a few things for sure. Honestly, man,
the wide receiver volume should be there. Bo Nix should be slinging the ball. They're going to be down almost 80% of their games.
100%. Babe, can you send me who the winner is? I know we have 3 people enter. All right.
You can give it to one of them if I get it.
All right. I'm going to zoom in here. Can you guys see this? Can you see the name? Art Howell. Congratulations, Mr. Boilerman, on winning today's Angry Elf. On winning today's his name is Boilerman in our Discord, Angry Elf here, and Art Howell on YouTube. I just have one name, bro. Congratulations on winning the brother.
Is your Discord link in your YouTube?
No, but I could share it to you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, my friend. It was an
awesome,
absolute honor to have you here. You're welcome to come back anytime and draft with us and talk ball with us because you're absolutely brilliant. You know that you know your stuff, and I respect the hell out of you, especially, you've been doing this for 3 months and you're at 1,000 subscribers.
We're
like
moving.
I feel like as successful as you are, it's still not doing a service to the kind of content that you're putting out there, and more people should go subscribe to you. So please let the folks here know where they can find your content, your YouTube, your Twitter X, and your future podcast. Please let the people know.
Thank you, man. It means the world hearing that from you because I love your content as well. And thank you for having me. This was awesome. This is my second show I've done live this year, so I'm looking to get into a ton of them. I am Monday, either launching this Monday, the podcast. The name is going to be My Mind is a Weapon. And I'm just working on the trademark for the logo. I have the LLC and all that taken care of, but it's a process, like trying to get it officially done.
I love
And
the
then
name. I love the
I
name.
do. So do I. It's
great.
Sick.
Yeah.
And then everything else is Sleezeballff FF. So YouTube, TikTok. I game all the time on there too. If you guys play any games, Call of Duty, Fortnite or whatever, I do that sometimes. And yeah, everything is all the same. It's all Sleezeballff FF everywhere you go.
Well, once again, man, thank you for blessing us with your presence. Congratulations, Art Howell. Tomorrow night, we got one of the founding fathers of fantasy football, Mr. Gregory Kellogg,
in for this.
Coming back here. We're gonna do a co-draft. We're gonna talk more theory. I feel like the first draft he did with us was kind of like an eye-opening experience, because best ball is a lot different than redraft, right? Especially if you're one of the OGs of fantasy football. We know that you like RBs and RB heavy. But sometimes, you saw today, the RB, the double RB start, sometimes triple RB start, it could be tough to pivot off of, because
I don't like it.
Yeah, wide receivers go early and often. So how can we find that balance? Find out tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time with special guest Greg Kellogg. We're going to talk theory. We're going to draft a team together. It's going to be a hell of a time. I say this all the time, and I'll say it again. It takes a village. I love my freaking village. And Sleezeball, thank you for being part of my village. Y'all have a good night. God bless. See you tomorrow night.
Thanks for having me, man. That was awesome.